Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland brothers. Whatever it is that you want to see, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. No matter whatever that happens to be, ask the Leyland brothers. Come on, me in it and join in the fun. Travel all over Australia.
A lot of people, when they think about natural gas these days, think about Bass Strait. But one of the world's largest gas fields is out here at Moomba in the desert in South Australia. We go there and have a look at the natural gas fields and how the gas is piped all the way to Sydney and Adelaide. And then we go here to Wingham in New South Wales and find out how leather is made. Then we're going up to Airlie Beach in Queensland to have a look at one of the most unusual races you could ever imagine, cane toad racing. This is a natural gas well at Moomba in South Australia, and we've come here to have a look at the story of natural gas in answer to this request from Cameron Hunt in Sydney, who wrote and asked to see the Moomba gas field. This here is the actual gas well. This is where the gas comes out of the ground. To put down one of these wells can cost anything between $500,000 and $1 million, and the gas comes out under its own pressure, extremely high pressure, anything between 2,000 and 4,000 pounds per square inch. From there it flows into a gas meter where the flow is registered and then onto a satellite station. But firstly, let's take a look at what's involved in putting down the hole to find the gas in the first place. The Cooper Basin is one of the world's largest known natural gas fields, and although the original exploration took place here in search of oil, gas was the reward. Exploration still goes on and some oil has been discovered. This huge and complex drilling rig is operated 24 hours a day as it drills deeper and deeper into the earth. Periodically, as the hole gets deeper, the length of the drill must be increased, and an efficient team of experienced men rapidly attach the new section. This is dirty work and dangerous too. One slip with a chain could rip a man to shreds. The weight of over 1.5 kilometres of steel shaft is sufficient to grind its way deeper and deeper. Every now and then the entire unit must be pulled to the surface to change the diamond-tipped drilling head. The stresses and strains must be kept within safe tolerances, and the operator has to keep a constant check on instruments to see that changes in rock hardness don't cause a sudden strain. The power of the drill is apparent standing on the rig as the massive heavy steel structure shakes and vibrates as though it was made of paper. When the gas is reached, it has this kind of wellhead fitted. This unimpressive piece of gear is the starting point in a long journey for the gas. There are dozens of such wells scattered around the gas field, and each has its own gas flow meter. From here, it flows through underground pipes to a satellite station. This satellite station receives gas from about 10 wells and balances the pressures from them. The gas leaves here, now in much larger pipes, to flow underground to the main Moomba processing plant. At dawn, from the air, it looks like some remote outpost on another planet. and on the ground the desert winds whip up clouds of choking dust and give it an eerie atmosphere. When the gas reaches here, it passes through various processes to extract impurities. Liquids are drained in a separator unit. Then these massive absorber columns remove the carbon dioxide. The impurities, if left in the gas, would have a corrosive effect on the pipeline to Adelaide and Sydney. And since the pipeline is very expensive to replace, the purification of the gas takes place here in the desert. A constant check and control is kept over the complex from the comfort of an air-conditioned control room.
Alan?
Yes. Yes, Malcolm?
One question I'd like to ask is, this flame that's always burning, why is it continually burning like that?
Well, a lot of people ask that question because of the interest in conservation of energy. But we must have the flame on at all times because it's a giant safety valve.
So what that means that if there's a breakdown in the line somewhere and you have to shut things down, you release the gas through that flame?
Yes, we've got pressure coming in about 1500 psi. We can't put it back there. If there's a malfunction in the plant, it means we've got to release this pressure, and of course the only way to do this is through the flare.
Alan King in the control room has a huge array of instruments to check on, but everything is automatic. Warning lights and alarms ring in the event of an abnormality. The Moomba complex processes about 270 million cubic feet of gas a day, and of that around 75 million cubic feet flows down the pipeline to Sydney. It seems amazing really that this pipe disappearing into the ground here provides the convenience of lighting the stove for thousands of Sydney housewives 600 kilometres away.
An everyday commodity which has been used by man for centuries is leather. Leather wallets, leather belts. We all come into contact with it just about every day of our lives. But how it gets to be that way is something I didn't know about until we've come here to Wingham in New South Wales. And that's at the request of Jennifer Atkinson from Vaucluse in New South Wales.
The first step when the hides and skins are received at the tannery of Angus Nugent and Sons is to sort them into various grades, depending on their condition, weight and type of leather for which they're most suited. Any bits of flesh or fat are removed, then the hides are put into large tanning drums to cleanse them of salt and dirt. After about 2 days in the drums, the hide regains a condition similar to when it was first taken from the animal. The hair is then readily removed and the skins are treated with lime. The tanning procedure is explained by Varo Chechenyan.
The tanning process itself, it's only 3 days from the time of soaking, dehairing, liming, deliming and tanning. The drums always loaded with the hides, the chemicals, they run day and night, and all we have to do is change the hides and the chemicals every now and then. Now, main tannage is the vegetable tanning, which is wattle bark extract imported from South Africa. The plants originated in Australia, which it's been taken to South Africa and replant them, and this is where it comes from. Everybody asks the question, why the tanning drums have been built with timber? Of course, there's different ways of building the drums. Could be aluminium, which is very flexible and tend to bend. The steel, it rusts with the chemicals in the drum and stain the hides. So the best material it's used to build the drums is the timber, and the bolts and the nuts is all brass, so we don't get any stain effect.
When the skins are removed from the liming and soaking drums, they're fleshed on a machine which removes any remaining fleshy particles and fat. The skins are returned to the drums for de-liming and soaking in wattle bark extract to absorb the tannins. This changes it from a skin to a durable leather hide, which is then squeezed on a wringer-like machine to remove excess moisture. The hide is now fed into a slitting machine, which accurately cuts the hide into 2 thin slices. The outer surface of the hide produces the best leather and is known as the grain split. The machine cuts it accurately to any thickness between 3mm and 5.5mm. It is used for belts, handbags and shoes. The lower portion of the hide is known as the flesh split and is used for rougher industrial applications like carpenter's bags and aprons. The grain leather is now shaved on the underside to ensure an exact uniform thickness all over. The shavings make excellent fertiliser. The hides are next treated in smaller drums with processes to neutralise the tannage in the leather, to bleach the leather for an even tone, and to lubricate it with neat's foot oil to keep it pliable. Finally, the excess moisture is wrung from the leather before it is ready to hang for drying.
This is a leather fully tanned and the final stages, which is the finishing stage. And with the customer request, we polish the leather. And the machine consists of a glass roller, roll over the hide and put the sheen on it.
This is an embossing or plating machine. It's not necessary that all leathers be plain. Some leathers are required to be printed. We have in the instance under the machine a walnut plate, and here we have a lizard. As you can see, this plate is finely engraved, showing the scales and indentations as seen on a lizard. For the purpose of explanation on this, we'll only do half of the skin and show you as we started here with the plains and here with the walnut.
Leather today is just as much an everyday commodity as it was for the wandering tribes of ancient times. The processes have become more scientific and specialised, but the timeless charm and feel of leather hasn't altered. It still stands for quality.
We've come to Airlie Beach in North Queensland because of a very interesting request from Mike Coppin of Chute Harbour. He wrote to say, I think we have something unique at Airlie Beach which would make a good segment on your program. Crab races and Australia's only toad races. Well, we found out that the toad races are held here at the hotel twice a week and the crab races are held just up the road. Only a couple of minutes' drive from the hotel, we find a large complex of holiday units. Every Wednesday night at the Whitsunday Village here at Airlie Beach, they have crab races. It's at 9 o'clock tonight, so we're going to have a look at the crab race. But before we go to the crab races, Let's go and see where they catch the crabs for the races. On Wednesday nights at low tide, Ray Bush has a regular job catching the contestants for the night's races.
They're buried down there now. They've got there's 6 in there now. See them buried down.
So, no name is at 4 to 1 tonight. In the pink, by stepping out of bikini, is trained and owned by...
Bob Porter, owner of the village, calls the field and the odds for the first race.
There's Nicky. And in the pink, well, Nicky is in the pink, in a different sort of fashion.
Top condition, that's right.
She's a 3 to 1.
You can earn a crab by bidding at the auction before the race.
450! 450, sold around from the Torres Hill.
Right, pay the man, we've got a crab.
4 to 1 is no name, number 3 in the pink.
In the pink by stepping out of bikini.
Henry by Sydney.
What's that word, Henry?
Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Henry's the bloke that owns the pub in Sydney.
Right, well, that's
The new owners are listed on the board and the crab's colours are written down, so there is no mistaken identity at the end of the race. Harmless paint spots mark the colours.
Number 6 is black. Blue and orange is Nicky.
Yeah, Nicky. That's the way she looks some days. That's the way I feel.
The bookies, Wayne and Phil, take the bets. All proceeds go to the Whitsunday Coast Guard.
One is last 3 starts here. It's a 6 to 4.
Tension mounts as the starting time draws close.
First race, the stakes, and they're off. And then let it go! That's in the pink. In the pink is flying.
In the pink wins by a couple of hundred lengths. The crabs are paraded for the next race.
Michelle from Victoria. Green and orange is Dahlia.
Green and orange Irish colours.
There's feverish activity in the bookie circle.
Oh, I'll have $1 on Leyland. That should break it down to about $7. How much we got left? $1. Which of you ladies would like to split?
We'll be ready to take.
You'd think they'd won the Melbourne Cup.
These crabs do go back onto the beach and will be...
This bugger's not going nowhere!
Arthur's going to put talc into the soup. And the crabs go back onto the beach and we'll see you here next Wednesday evening.
On Tuesday and Thursday nights, you can see people with torches chasing cane toads. They're collecting the field for the toad races that are held in the beer garden of the Airlie Beach Hotel. No auction for the toads, rent one. Just pay your $2, name him, and a toad is painted in your favourite colours and handed to you in a paper bag. This is your entry in the great toad race, so don't squash him in that bag.
Here's his toad.
Mates, are they calling you? Oh, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Rockin'.
What colour?
Purple, please, now. What's your name?
Rod.
Rod.
Purple.
Thanks, Rod.
Okay, you. Yeah.
The race caller and master of toad ceremonies is Tex Simmons. He calls your name and you place your entry in the starters bucket.
Get ready for the race number 1. They'll line right up at the barrier now, and out they're racing!
Tex says the more you yell, the better the toads jump. Maybe he didn't tell the toads.
10 sprouts and a $10.
He's jumped the barrier and the starter calls for a rerun.
Look at the big prize. Go that way.
It's important to keep an eye on your toad so you can grab him for the next race. I've heard of a kiss for the winner, but there is a limit. Shake hands, that's better. Now the winning owners compete in the toad hop contest. The biggest cheer signals the winner, who gets a souvenir toad race t-shirt. Races with a difference in North Queensland.
You can put on now, right? You can put it on right now.
Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland brothers. Whatever it is that you want to see, ask the Leylands, no matter whatever that happens to be, ask the Leyland brothers. Come on, me in and then join in the fun, travel all over Australia.